Because in the O.J. Simpson case, Nicole Simpson had so many calls to the police prior, and there was nothing in place where they should have done more, right? So the laws changed after that, and now automatically, if somebody is claiming he hit me, then there's going to be a criminal protective order.
Oh.
Automatically. And many times, and this is what happens in the immigrant community, is the person who called the police says, wait, no, he's the provider.
往里请，说小点再说重点，有点古怪，绝对真诚，完全没有坏心眼。Nosy，没有一点坏心眼。Nosy nugget。
My name is Jacqueline Davalos. I am a criminal defense and accident
In criminal
defense.
Yeah, when you kill someone, go to her.
Are you
If you are accused of killing somebody,
Oh, I'm sorry.
call me.
call me? Yeah,
It doesn't
today
mean you did it.
Yeah, today, I just showed came here and just have the reason because there's so many people in the Chinese community, don't realize how different the U.S. law when the problems come to the family,
And the reality is that most American-born citizens don't know how the law works until they have to go through it themselves. And so even for the immigrant community, it's even, of course, they know even less and they don't want to ask questions. So I think it's good that we're doing this so that we can answer common questions from the immigrant community.
They don't ask it because they're afraid.
They're afraid, but they also don't know what to ask, right? People don't know what they don't know. So,
Such as?
Subject.
what do you mean such as? You don't know what you don't know. You wouldn't know how to ask a specific question about the universe and space because
Until
you're
you
not
hit the
familiar
problem.
with that area of science, or you don't have a knowledge base for that, right? So how do you ask? And so as an attorney, sometimes it's my job to pull information from people because they don't know what's relevant to their case and what's not relevant to their case.
Yeah, last time in the stop sign, I not fully stop.
Okay, California stop. That's what we call those.
Yeah, California stop. Yeah.
California stop.
Yeah, and the cops, just let me stop, right? And he asked me, how seconds you need to stop? I really don't know.
How many seconds?
How many seconds?
3.
3?
3 seconds to stop.
You just have to stop.
For
You
how
just
many
have to stop.
seconds?
How many
When you
seconds?
stop, how many
Complete
seconds?
stop. Complete stop. The car has to stop moving.
Yeah.
And if there's a cop car watching you, stay there for 10 seconds. I do it on purpose. I'm like, I see you watching me. I'm going to stop here for 10 seconds. Okay? I don't care if I have people lining up. I see where you are. So, yes, but normally it is a full stop. Not a California rolling stop. That's what we call those.
Yeah, so that's why, it's just, we don't know how to ask. Yeah, because
Yes.
we just, 3 seconds, maybe 5 seconds.
Right.
Yeah, but I personally say, I stopped enough, but I
Yeah.
still got ticket. I don't know
But
why.
you stopped.
Yeah.
But see, the thing is when you and
Oh,
keep
yes,
going,
yes,
that's
yes,
not
yes,
enough.
yes.
That's the California stop. That's just like the tap. You have to, complete stop. And if there's a cop watching you, do this. Let them see your face. And then keep going.
Today we have the very heavy topic, just talk about the domestic violence.
Yes.
Yeah, so many people in the Chinese community, not verbally or something, just physical.
Yeah.
Yeah, so can you talk about that?
So domestic violence is normally, as far as a criminal violation, right? If you're breaking a criminal law, it means you have to physically interact. There has to be physical contact. Yelling at each other, calling each other names, cheating on somebody, none of that counts as domestic violence. Not as a criminal domestic violence. It could be, he's mentally abusing me, but there's no real crime. There's no prosecution for that. So domestic violence, the way it is prosecuted by the government is by state, right? So in the United States, we have 50 different states, and they each get to say what constitutes domestic violence. So in California, you can have domestic violence where you just touch somebody, just push them, no marks, no reason, nothing. But that's an offensive, unconsensual touching. That is enough for you to get a domestic violence charge. Now it's going to be charged differently, but it still charges domestic violence, as opposed to if now you have a situation where somebody punches somebody else, right? So if somebody punches somebody else and they left a mark, once there's marks and scratches and bruises, that's now an elevated charge to domestic violence with injury. And those can count in California as misdemeanors, which there's two types of crimes in California. I mean, in most states there are, which is misdemeanors are the ones that are less serious. Felonies are the ones that are more serious.
Yeah.
So you can have felony domestic violence if the injuries are much more serious. And for those, as soon as if you call the police on a California domestic violence, and one of the people in the relationship say, he hit me, this is what happened, the accused person is going to be taken to jail. On their first court date, the judge will issue what's called a criminal protective order, which means automatically no more contact with that person. No more contact, no phone contact, no communication whatsoever. Period. That's what happened. That's what happened in California. They passed that law after the prosecutors in Los Angeles lost the O.J. Simpson case.
Oh, yeah.
So they passed these new laws to protect, because in the O.J. Simpson case, Nicole Simpson had so many calls to the police prior, and there was nothing in place where they should have done more, right? So the laws changed after that, and now automatically, if somebody is claiming he hit me, then there's going to be a criminal protective order.
Oh.
Automatically. And many times, and this is what happens in the immigrant community, is the person who called the police says, wait, no, he's the provider. I need him home. I need him to pay my bills. And that person can no longer communicate with you. That person now has to move somewhere else, stay somewhere else. But of course, if somebody's hitting you or somebody's doing this, you should be calling the police. They should be taken away.
Yeah.
What do you see the Sean Combs, the DD case?
I'm not specific. I mean, I'm familiar with it, but I'm not, she surely did ask me at some point, how did that...
You know who is that, right?
Yeah,
Didi.
The Diddy case, and why he's getting so little time. I don't follow it closely, but my understanding is that a lot of the people who testified were adults who consented to these activities and this behavior. So, and that he's federally charged. So federally, they can't charge him with domestic violence. Domestic violence is a state charge. So what they were charging him for, I think they said human trafficking. But the thing is, a lot of human trafficking means that you're being transported against state or past state lines against your will. But these were prostitutes who were hired and were going to do the job. So it's going to be more difficult to get him on what they wanted to get him on, which this is why people say, how did he get so little time? Well, he got little time because of how they charged him, and prosecutors need to be very familiar with their evidence and what they can prove when they prosecute somebody.
A lot of the Chinese, the family grew up, okay, like me or like the producer, the raising, the hearing is 家丑不可外扬. It means don't talk about the family issue or something, So when you just first work or something, just here, and you got to fight, you got the bully, you got something, your family members, just keep silent.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, the situation, somebody want to help or somebody want to take some action.
I guess it depends who's taking the action, right? I mean, and I understand the Chinese community saying, as we say in English, don't air your dirty laundry.
Oh, yeah, yes.
Right?
Yeah.
But
Yes.
But
Yeah.
you're not putting it on Facebook. You're not running and telling the neighbors. You are, if you're in danger, if you're in danger of getting hit or beat up and you don't want to endure that anymore, then the laws of the United States protect you, and you can take advantage of those laws so that you don't have to be subject to violence. And it doesn't mean that your neighbor has to know, or your neighbor might know because they probably heard you arguing in the first place. But you don't need to tell everybody. You just need to tell the people who need to know, which would be the police and the prosecutors.
How can you differentiate if the husband is actually is not the abused or is the victim?
As a defense attorney, and I represent the accused, and what I see is whoever gets to the phone first wins. Whoever gets to the phone first wins. Whoever gets their story to the police first wins that fight. And then the other person's going to get charged.
What?
And that's it. That's how it goes. And that's how
It's not fair.
It's not fair. But then at that point, when that person gets arrested and charged, then the attorney comes in, and then we have to investigate the case. We have to get all the evidence that the police didn't get. Because the police just hear the call, okay, female at this address is calling saying that she got hit and pushed by her husband. This is ongoing. They get the call, they report, and that they're going in with that idea. I mean, police officers do very bare bones investigation, right? They're just responding. They just respond and, okay, who said what, who did what, show me something real quick. Okay, good, that's it, write the report, it goes to the prosecutor. And
If
that's
someone just make up the story.
People make up stories all the time.
Wow.
All the time. Because if somebody calls the police and says, he pushed me,
Oh, yeah.
knocked my head on the door, or, pulled my hair, there could be no injuries. That's it. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. Now, in the United States, the person who is accused, yes, is gonna get arrested, is gonna get prosecuted in court, but they still have the opportunity to defend themselves. But at that point, it is an uphill battle.
So different. In our the Chinese community, just let's say, okay, they afraid to say because it's not the truth. So it's just keep not say anything. Yeah, because sometimes the thing happens so fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe the one word I don't like it, so I punch you first, and you punch me back, something, and the police come in because maybe the language is not very well or something not very well. So they just say, oh, okay, he don't want to say anything because they get in trouble. And the green card, maybe something in the immigration, have some problem though.
So are you saying that sometimes the
They
victim
Yeah.
doesn't want to call?
I think what she's trying to say is sometimes they cannot differentiate domestic violence and immigrations.
Yeah.
An immigration consequence.
Yeah, consequence, yes.
They combine both.
Which is good, because the Latino community does not combine them, and sometimes that's a problem. They need to know that it is linked. So it's good that the Chinese community is already thinking that way. If you're a victim of a crime, that is not going to affect your immigration status. If you're a victim of a crime. If you're a victim of a crime and you don't have status, it can actually help you.
Really?
With status, yes. And we see this weaponized in the immigrant community, where people who know that you can do that say, oh, I'm going to accuse somebody of doing something to me so that I can get legal immigration status. The problem is also that if that's a fraud, then you can be, if that's discovered that it's a fraud, you can be banned from immigration status forever.
Yeah.
And you can be charged with lying to the police.
Okay, I'm going to talk about this. It's like, what if I have like a few friends came to me, they hate the husband.
Okay.
Divorce him.
Exactly, but
But maybe like economic, they're not independent.
Yeah, they doesn't want to use the peaceful way to divorce him. So they want to accuse or claim that he's domestic violence,
Right.
like put some violence on her.
They accuse them of a crime.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How that's it confronted to me. What should I do?
I told you that you should call the defense attorney and say, hey, she told me she was lying. That would be the right thing to do.
Just you don't
But
know that right.
It doesn't mean that do
I need to record? If they are in a case, I can do that. If they are in a court case, right, I can record their voice, or I'm not.
So you're not allowed to record people without
Not allowed?
consent.
God damn it.
No, the
是
only
不能
people,
不能录
the
音
only
啊
people who could record you without your consent is the government,
Exactly.
which is BS. I don't know how you say that in Chinese.
Another fear I hear a lot is if I report it, well, my kids will be taken away. So,
Okay.
the husband say, don't say anything. The
Yeah.
police come in, don't say anything. Otherwise, your green card is lost, your kid's gonna be taken away.
Oh, that is terrifying.
Yeah.
So, okay, if somebody has a green card, and I'm not an immigration attorney, I'm a criminal defense attorney, but I have consulted, and I normally consult with immigration attorneys. If you are if you have your residency through your husband, and there's a domestic violence situation, you should be protected. That you should worry about losing your green card. Now, about the children, if there's domestic violence issues, let's say that family goes to the store. That family goes to the store, and people are witnessing that he's mistreating the wife.
Yes.
And maybe somebody calls it in, and now there's an investigation. If they discover that there's domestic violence against the wife and she never reported it, then they're going to take the kids away.
Oh.
So if you report it and you say this happened, they see that as, oh, okay, good. She's protecting the kids. She's protecting the family. She's reporting it right away. They have to be, I would say they'd have to be careful if I'm trying to advise them, for them to not say, yes, he's always hitting me. Every Friday that he comes home, he hits me. Then they're going to say, okay, but you're just reporting it and these kids have been witnessing this whole time. Then that could be a red flag because the mother was not protecting the kids. But in situations where there's a domestic violence situation, and we're using the woman because that is the most commonly reported, but it also happens to men, so I'm not going to discriminate. But if one of the parents reports domestic violence, no, it's not.
It's not true.
It's your kids are not in danger unless this was an ongoing thing where you were not protecting the kids, and now the police got involved. But if you say he hit me, this has never happened, but I can't have this violence in my home, then they will tell you, Mom, you did the right thing.
哇，这真的是跟我们华人很不一样。Yeah, so different. Yeah, just see, and the woman, is weakness side, right? So maybe he, not independence for the economic, and something, he need to protect his kids, Yeah, so you just, okay, maybe you do the situation. We can do anything.
The Latino community, a lot of the immigrant community, that's
similar.
That's similar. It's an issue, but what are you going to do? You're going to wait till
something happens.
So you end up in the hospital. And you have your kids witness this. You have to start talking to your community and your support group, and maybe talking to your friends about the situation, contrary to the Chinese customs, so that you can start making an exit plan.
I see. So, one more question. If someone is being, emotionally, abused or controlled financially, but they are not married, only like engage something or just the relationship something. So the law still protect them.
So the question is interesting because you're saying they're not married, but somehow one person has given consent to the other person to have control over their finances. So the law looks at that as you are an adult and you are allowed to make whatever decisions you want. And if you are giving this man your password and giving him access to your accounts, that's your decision. And who are we to say that that's the wrong decision, right? It's different if somebody says, hey, I never gave him access to my bank account. His name is not on there. He found my password somewhere and now he stole a bunch of money. That you can report to the police and you can have some recourse for that. But to just say, oh, he's being mean to me, he's making me do this, he's making me do that, the law looks at that as you're an adult, you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
Unless he's holding a gun to your head, well, then now that's a crime.
In Chinese culture, the people often try to endure. Indoors, okay.
Endure?
Yeah, for the kids, for the family.
Okay.
Yeah, so legally, the speaking does enduring using make things better or worse?
Legally speaking, who knows? Meaning, legally speaking, I don't know. Maybe the woman is better off because she's financially stable, but I guess not legally speaking. I give unsolicited personal advice all the time.
Yeah.
So
personal advice.
Yeah. So unsolicited personal advice where you are teaching your children to not value themselves.
Good.
You are teaching your children that when somebody is being manipulative and mean and bad to them and making them unhappy and depressed, that's okay and that's normal. It's not.
No. Yeah,
it's not. We have choice. If you are here in the United States, it's because you wanted to give your family a better life than what they would have had they stayed in China. And it's important that you do give that better life and that you take advantage of the laws here that protect you. And it's really important for people to know in all immigrant communities, not just the Chinese community, but we're speaking to the Chinese community here, is whether or not you have legal immigration status, you still have constitutional rights. You can still call the police and say, this person battered me, or this person on the street robbed me, or this person is harassing me. You still have those rights. You don't have to endure the suffering.
No, you don't.
You can still call the police. And in police, let's just remember, most of the time, right now in Trump's America, all bets are off, okay? Because they're not following the rule. Here in California, the police are not working with ICE. And most with any other president, they're not connected. So if you don't have legal citizenship, yes, I'm sure. Haven't you heard Trump talk about sanctuary cities? I'm going to take away their funding. Yeah. Why is he saying sanctuary cities? Because police have never helped ICE, but he at least here in California, they used to back in the day, but now they don't.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah.
They don't. Why is our local taxes for police to respond to local crimes? Why would that be used to help the federal government? It shouldn't. Our taxes are not paying to help the federal government. But they don't. They're not related. And so especially here in California, especially here in LA, if you call the police for something, they're not going to ask you what's your legal status. They don't care. They don't care. Where do you live? What's your name? What's your age? Okay, we give this to the prosecutor. The DAs don't care. Meaning the DAs, let me say prosecutors. The prosecutors, the state prosecutors who now are going to take the police report, file state charges against the accused. Nobody cares. In that court system. In criminal court and family court, nobody cares. If you are legally here or not. It's not relevant.
Okay.
So it's important for people to
know
that and to not be afraid when they feel like they need to call the police.
Yeah, so many people just speak out for the wrong information.
Yeah.
So my friend, he say he have a lot of worker, but he just say, hey, I have the job. You want to come? And they didn't check the
paperwork.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when ICE, the action something.
ICE came and took his worker?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he say, what happened? So I don't know. So right now, more.
Well, the good thing is,
back to normal.
I guess the good thing for your friend is ICE isn't, or the federal government
for charge them,
is not going after the employers.
Yeah,
they're just going after the people.
Yeah, because some worker in the Home Depot, the parking lot.
Oh, the people who are looking for day work.
Yeah, for the day work.
Yeah.
So that's why.
Oh, okay.
Nosy nugget，重点是麻烦说重点。哒啦啦啦。
Okay, so another one, if someone listen right now, okay, think this sound like me situation. What the very first step you suggestion before calling the lawyer or police?
If they're in what situation? If you killed somebody.
By accident, like use something to hurt that person.
Or you push somebody, just let them, get the injury or something. Yeah.
The stone or whatever.
Okay, that's happened. I've seen those cases. Yeah.
Feel free to share with us.
This wasn't my case, but it was in court while they were sentencing this man. And this was was his own friend. They were just drunk and they got in an argument at the bar. And I guess he punched him. And how he fell, he died. But I mean, that was a public place, so it's not like he was going to keep it a secret. So he got sentenced to involuntary manslaughter. So you still get, it depends, right? It just depends. Because there's situations where if you're driving a car and you don't see somebody, I think there was a Red Hot Chili Pepper case here where he's on his phone. And
you just turn and the jacket is somebody. Yeah.
And wasn't paying attention and killed somebody.
Yes.
And there's not much they can do because he stayed at the scene, so it's not a hit and run. He wasn't drunk, so it's not a DUI murder because now they prosecute DUI cases where somebody dies as a DUI murder.
酒驾.
And so what's the crime? I don't even know what they charged him with because that's just negligence. And usually the insurance companies take care of that. So depending on how it happens, if we have a different scenario where it's at home, I would say call the police
first
right away.
Oh, right away. Okay.
I mean, as long as there's not a bunch of bullet holes in the guy, right? If you're just having a conversation and you got mad and pushed him and then he fell a certain way, then because the body tells a story. So we got to remember that, right? The body tells a story And there's always going to be forensics. There'll always be physical evidence. So you don't want to start telling the police, oh, well, we were just chatting and he slipped and he fell. But then this guy has, hammer marks and then there's a hammer right there, right? So you have to be, if something happens where it's an accident, if it's a true accident, call the police right away. Mm-hmm. And the reason I say that is because if that person gets prosecuted, and if that person gets prosecuted in court, that's going to be part of their defense. That's something I would use, is they had nothing to hide. They called the police right away. They didn't mean for this to happen. They were scared, right? But there's times where people call me and there's a hit and run. There's a hit and run, and then they get scared, and then they say, yeah, I hit somebody, but now... And most of the time, they hit another car. The person is fine, but it's still, they're like, we saw it's fine. The ambulance was there. Nobody's. What do I do?
Yeah.
You already left. The crime has already occurred. The hit and run has already occurred. Mm-hmm. So you going back is just going to get you prosecuted. Because the way the law is designed is not for you to go back on hit and runs and say, oh, I'm so sorry. I was scared. I left. I'm coming back. Here's everything. So it depends your situation. But in a domestic violence situation, give me a specific situation, because there's all kinds of situations. Right. Yeah, you can make up a scenario in your head.
Sometimes the parents with the kids have the education, the problem, the kids not to listen to the parents.
Right.
And the parents, in China or in Taiwan, in the Asian, so many countries, it just gives some punches.
Oh, like you hit the kid?
Yeah, he just hit the children, but here, it's not allowed. Right?
Not really, right?
So it has to be reasonable force.
Exactly.
Really?
Yes.
Reasonable force, where meaning don't punch them in the face. We don't punch them in the face, but
okay, don't punch in the face.
Yeah, you should not be leaving marks on your kids.
The butt, they hit the butt, really.
You should not be leaving marks, but there's no law that says you can't hit your kids.
Exactly.
There's no law. I had a case where
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, I had a case where it was
For 50 years, the Chinese community think that they're not allowed to hit the kids.
Yes.
I say no. You can't.
Until now. So that's why.
Yeah.
And I say, hey, today I just meet a lawyer. I have the clarified,
That's what I'm saying.
The
But
situation.
that's the thing.
Doesn't mean that we encourage you.
I know.
It's not just the Chinese community. Even Americans don't know this.
Yeah.
Because if the kid wants to say, oh, they hit me,
Yes.
Right?
And sometimes the parents, the kids want to do the stupid things. And the parents say, just grab the hands, say, no, we can't do that. No, we can't do that.
Yeah.
So you mark. Right?
I mean, it shouldn't leave that much of a mark, depending on how sensitive the kids are. Okay, give your kids vitamins so they don't bruise.
Yeah. So you just, have to pour them. And it just get injured. So you hit me.
Yes. I mean, I see what you're saying. There's still, yes, you have to control yourself, right? There can't be an out of control, I'm just going to beat you and hit you wherever I can and pull your hair and whatever. It does have to be a control. So let me tell you about the case that I had a long time ago, but it was a stepdad who, he lived in the house with the mom and it was not his child. It was like a 13-year-old girl, but she was a rebel. Okay, and he smacked her bottom. I think he hit her with a belt.
Oh,
but
okay.
Bottom, right? It's not like lacerations on the face. It's and we were going to go to trial, right? So here in the United States, you get jury trial because the police, whatever, the prosecutor, whatever, and then here your best bet a lot of times is to just say, okay, fine, I want a jury trial, which is 12 people who come to jury duty to decide whether this was against the law or not, under the law. And the law is reasonable force. So we showed up to go to jury trial, we go to court, and my client tells me, that girl is detained in juvenile hall for beating up her mom. So I walk in, I go to the district attorney's office, and I'm like, your witness is detained in juvenile hall for beating up her mom. Case dismissed, right? Because you are allowed to use reasonable force to discipline your child.
Okay.
You're allowed to.
You're allowed to.
I mean, we have these extreme cases with these kids, but those kids are getting abused. Like when you see them on Netflix, or you see, you know, that they died. I mean, these are kids who are being burned, who are not being fed, who are not, that's abuse. You're not allowed to abuse. But if you're just trying to discipline, you're allowed to use reasonable force. And don't leave marks.
This is for ages, the Chinese community, even the lawyer itself.
They said something, yeah.
They didn't say anything about it.
No, they didn't say anything. So I was just confused.
But I'm just reading the law. I mean, the law, the jury instructions. If a jury is sitting, the instructions are, they did, you know, they used more than reasonable force. So that's the state of the law.
Yeah. So,
Well, yeah, because Tracy been interviewed a lot of attorneys.
yeah.
None of them say that.
So, you know, something,
I think
the
they're
different
scared.
voice.
They're
yeah.
scared to say, I don't want to give legal advice. I'm not giving legal advice.
yeah.
I'm saying how the law works and what the law states.
But that means that they are not even talking about the law.
Who? The attorneys?
Yeah. Because it's in
Chinese communicate, yeah.
Yeah, in Chinese community.
It's because they want you to pay them to get legal advice.
No, no.
That's wild. Okay?
Our company, not pay for me, okay? So, yeah, so fun. Yeah, so, you know, yeah, so many, so that's why you hear and talk to, you know, to discuss something the U.S. law we don't know.
Right.
Yeah, so
Even
that's
the
why.
state law. Because Constitution's federal law is different than state law. Because 50 states have 50 different state laws.
But your constitutional rights come from the federal law, and the states have to honor your constitutional rights, right? So this is why you have a constitutional right. If you cannot afford to pay for an attorney when you are accused of a crime, you will be given an attorney at no cost to you. So you don't have to go scramble and find a private attorney before your court date, which a lot of people in the immigrant community think. And sometimes, and I know a lot of attorneys say, oh yeah, you need an attorney right now, blah, blah, blah,
Oh,
blah.
yeah, yes,
and
yes.
they scare
Yes,
them
yes.
even more because they know that they don't know what's actually happening. But no, you don't have to just scramble for that. There will be what's called a public defender. I was a public defender for a long time before I went private and got my office. The judges are not allowed to talk to you without an attorney, period. Even if that attorney is in the courtroom and you haven't met them and you're just meeting them that day, there will be an attorney who, if they don't speak Chinese, there will be a Chinese interpreter there. They will tell you what you're accused of, what's going to happen, and then next court date. And you're always free to hire a private attorney, but you're never going to be left without an attorney. They are there so that you are never left without an attorney, period. Because you have a constitutional right to have an attorney defend you.
Yeah. So that's why, you know, okay, my opinion, you know, some people say, you don't say anything until your attorney is coming. 100%. Yeah.
100%.
You know, otherwise you speak one word is wrong, it can be become your statement.
Even if you're innocent.
Wow.
Even if you're innocent. That's why.
So if I kill someone,
well, don't say it on here.
I say that.
You're racist.
I say that I'm innocent.
So you can't say anything on public. So fun. Yeah. Today is so happy, you know, you're here and you say something to our community. Okay.
Keep coming.
In the immigrant community, to me, because my parents were immigrants from Mexico, and part of the reason I became an attorney was because I would see how they were being treated all the time, because people will look at immigrants and say they're stupid or, try to take advantage of them.
Now go
and
back
it just
to
made me so
where.
angry.
Yes.
So I was like, you're always this anger. But that's part of the reason. So for me, immigrants from everywhere is my soft spot. My soft spot. In my office, there's a picture that I drew when I was 16.
Wow.
And it's called Immigrant's Dream. And my friend got it framed for me, and it's in my office because it shows immigrants looking over a fence into the city in the desert. Because immigrants come here to have a better life, not just for themselves, because it's going to be hard for them because they're learning a new language, a new world,
the new life, the new
for
place.
Their children. And a lot of times they don't know what that means for their children. They don't even understand the opportunities that their kids are having or will have. But this is my soft spot, and I always like to help the immigrant community because I know they're the most vulnerable too. They're the most vulnerable to being defrauded. They're the most vulnerable to being lied to. They're the most vulnerable to being taken advantage of. And so when I come across them, I'm always trying to guide them somewhere. Even sometimes they'll call me and well, I don't do that type of law, but let me find you somebody who does. Somebody who's honest who does.
I second that, yes.
所有的朋友们想要请教我们这个律师，他是第一次来我们节目，然后呢，就是有任何问题，好在底下留言，我们会呢，真的有很多在美国或者是在外地，大家可能呢不懂的，对一些迷思。You have a TikTok?
I have a TikTok.
Yeah, TikTok， 而且很多 follower， 或者大家也可以去看一下，关注一下。
因为很多人都会问他。
It's in English and Spanish, but they can probably.
Yeah, translate,
Translate it.
Yeah, automatic translate. Right. So 你们都可以留言，我觉得这是很重要的一件事情哦。Cheers, ladies. Yeah, see you next time.
小点再说重点，有点古怪，绝对真诚，完全没